people, LP2000 right back at you with another video. Welcome back to another edition of Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews on behalf of Collect All Monsters. And oh God, look at that. It needs no introduction, but I'm gonna give you one anyway because this thing is deserving of one, an epic one if that. Oh God, again, this is just the box. We haven't even got to the figure yet, and the box is so amazing. But again, we'll get all of that. We'll get to that momentarily. But ladies and gentlemen, you already clicked the title. You know exactly what and who we're covering here in this awesome review. So let's dive head first into this awesome Spiral Studios gigantic statue review. And today we take a look at the Spiral Studios Legacy Series Tanaka Kenichi Motley Collection of Godzilla 2001, or the GMK Godzilla. Yes, the evil badass that appeared in arguably the greatest film of the Millennium series, courtesy of Godzilla, and arguably one of the greatest Godzilla films of all time. 2001's Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, giant monsters all out of attack. And as you can see, I have the beautiful box here. And that's the thing. If you saw my video that I did earlier this year of the Spiral Studios Ultimate Master Line gigantic statue of the Burning Godzilla 2019, the deluxe edition, and with the big wings and everything. If you saw that video, you saw like in the early going of the video, I had to talk about the box first. I couldn't put the box and the figure all together in the same shot because both the box and the figure are massive. You kind of see a pattern here going on with Spiral Studios, but we'll get to the figure momentarily because again, the box as well as the figure is too big and too massive. I couldn't put both of them together in the same shot. So let's talk about the packaging and the history before we get into the awesome figure of Godzilla 2001. And here is the picture of the box. Oh my God, this is so great with the silhouette of the actual figure of Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? And right here in the front, Godzilla 2001 at the bottom. Of course, the Legacy Series in the upper right-hand corner, Tanaka Kenichi Motley Collection. Of course, you have the title of the film in Japanese text below that. Below the Legacy Series with Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, blah, 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 blah. And the awesome Spiral Studios logo, the logo in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh my God, this box is so amazing. Again, this box is so big because Godzilla is so big. And what I so appreciate about this film, this box, excuse me, is the fact that I'm getting gigantic series vibes from this box, you know, courtesy of X Plus, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? It is very ironic that here we are, 2023. This year marks 10 years that the X Plus Gigantic series has been around, quite frankly. You might as well say that the X Plus Gigantic series is the reason why more companies are coming out the woodwork to offer us gigantic size pieces. I think it started with the Gigantic series. And that series started, again, late 2013. And ironically, the design they chose to implement that new line from X Plus was, of course, the GMK Godzilla. And here we are 10 years later, and we have another company offering the GMK Godzilla in an awesome new line, you know what I'm saying? Just the synergy there between the two, the fact they both decided to use the GMK Godzilla to kickstart off an awesome line of gigantic size collectibles. Spiral Studios X Plus, you did a great job picking the right one, in my opinion. But this one is really noteworthy. It's the fact that, again, the original X Plus Gigantic series GMK Godzilla, that was a stylized version, you know what I'm saying? And it was big, it's like maybe 15, 16 inches tall at the most, you know, whatever. Whereas this one, this is actually a suit-accurate gigantic size version of the GMK Godzilla. He towers over the original X Plus Gigantic series figure that you'll see later on in this video. But again, this is the first time we've ever gotten a gigantic size, suit-accurate version of the GMK Godzilla with the dad bod, you know, whatever. And so I appreciate Spiral Studios for doing that. And of course, this is from the Legacy series. You know, it's one of their lines that Spiral Studios is producing right now. You know, they got the Ultimate Master line, you know, with the MonsterVerse King Ghidorah and Burning Godzilla 2019 that they put out recently in the past 2 years, you know, whatever. You know, you got this line, you know, you got Spiral Toy, you know, you got the Titans in the MonsterVerse where they brought out the Mothra Larva 2019 earlier this year. So this is just another line that Spiral Studios is going to be pushing moving forward. And the premise behind this line is the fact that they're going to basically introduce to us great Kaiju or Godzilla collectibles of different incarnations of Godzilla, but they're going to be done from different sculptors. Right now, they're starting off with the awesome Kenichi Tanaka. If you don't know who he is an awesome, brilliant Japanese model kit or just Japanese collectible sculptor. And it's a shame that, honestly, his name is not mentioned alongside other greats when it comes to kaiju sculptors out there like Yuji Sakai or Nibu from Monster Maker 28 or Akira Ibaraki from KOC. He is definitely up there when it comes to his work. And some of the works that he has done outside of stuff that he is doing for Spiral, which I'll touch on momentarily, he done a gigantic size epic bust of the fourth form of Shin Godzilla. I think they came out in the last year or so or whatever. That thing looks amazing. He done a bust of the 2001 Godzilla, GMK Godzilla, which actually is implemented into the figure right here. So that was an epic piece. I think he also sculpted or had a hand in sculpting the upcoming XM Studios gigantic size statues of both the 1994 Godzilla and Space Godzilla, whatever. And in terms of Spiral, my God, he has got some great stuff coming from Spiral. Again, we got the GMK Godzilla here from the Legacy line, but also in the Legacy line, they're going to bring forth a gigantic size version of Zilla from the 1998 movie. And say what you will about the 98 film, I know that film is not the best in the world for a lot of Godzilla fans, but in terms of gigantic size sculptures, again, just like the GMK Godzilla here, we haven't had a gigantic, realistic statue of that version of Godzilla. And yes, I said that version of Godzilla because there is a version of Godzilla. Whether you like the film or not, you still have to acknowledge that. But the fact that they're doing a gigantic size realistic version of Zilla, I think is really, really cool. They also announced that they're going to be doing a gigantic size version of the 1991 King Ghidorah from the 1991 film. There's not too many realistic versions of that version of Ghidorah out there, quite frankly. They're doing that. They also announced that at some point they're going to bring us a 1991 Godzilla to go up against that version of King Ghidorah at the most recent Wonderfest show in Japan. I want to say around August of this year. Last month, they showcased unpainted prototype versions of Shin Godzilla. Oh my God, a gigantic sized version of Shin Godzilla. Not to mention, they also have announced that they're going to do at some point a gigantic sized 1984 Godzilla. Oh my God, this Legacy line is shaping up to be something epic. And I can't wait to see, outside the ones that we all know that are coming, whether we're seeing prototype pictures of the figures or not, I'm looking forward to see what else will be coming in the Legacy line courtesy of Spiral Studios. And I'll talk more about that later on. But before we go any further, let me give a huge shout out and thank you to three special people making this video happen. First and foremost, Ash Siri. He's the guy that runs Spiral Studios and owns Spiral Studios. Thank you so much for helping me getting this statue or whatever. Of course, AJ Russo from Kaiju Live, an awesome human being, a great friend of mine, just an amazing person. So thank you to Ash and thank you to AJ. And finally, Sandra, because actually this is not my statue. This is actually Sandra's statue, because you all know when it comes to GMK, that's like the Lord and Savior. When it comes to Sandra, Sandra loves her some GMK. It is her favorite Godzilla design. It is her favorite Godzilla movie. So again, that's one of the reasons why we had to get this for her. Not to mention her birthday is coming up, quite frankly. But yeah, she is a proud owner of this statue. As a matter of fact, she is beating me when it comes to Spiral Studios releases, because she got this, she got the Burning Godzilla 2019 that I talked about earlier, she got the Mothra Larva that I talked about earlier from the Titans of the Monsterverse. The only thing I got is the King Ghidorah Monsterverse 2019 gigantic statue. So she has three epic statues from Spiral Studios while I only got one. So I got to catch up to that. I got to catch up to her. You know what I'm saying? But again, thank you to Sandra, thank you to Ash, and thank you to AJ for making this video happen. Again, this is so epic. And again, the fact that this video and this figure is going to be released on the 10th year anniversary of the S Plus Gigantic series, where again, they started off that series with a version of GMK Godzilla. Now we have another one, albeit a super accurate version, I think is really, really cool. Now, this kind of came out of nowhere as far as the Legacy line, right? And I remember it was last year, 2022. Of course, all the hype was about, the Monsterverse Ghidorah that Spiral Studios was putting out at the time. We were getting ready for the Spiral Studios Burning Godzilla 2019, as well as the Mothra that was coming. So we were all really hyped for those releases. Not to mention Spiral Tour was cooking up some great stuff, some great Sofubi stuff. But in August, and I remember that day, I think it was August 2nd of 2022, Spiral Studios teased on their Twitter a picture of a version of Godzilla's dorsal place. It was obviously of a statue, of a collectible. And if you know Godzilla as much as I do, if you're familiar with each Godzilla design or whatever, you can clearly tell by that picture that was clearly the GMK Godzilla's dorsal plates. And there was like a portion of Spiral Studios logo in the, like, I think in the right hand corner of the photograph. It was somewhere or whatever. It wasn't fully shown, but you knew it was from Spiral Studios, obviously because it came from their Twitter. And that right there was the planting seed that something was coming involving the GMK Godzilla from Spiral Studios. Fast forward a few weeks later, towards the tail end of August, they announced that this figure was coming. Not only was it the GMK Godzilla, but it was a gigantic size suit accurate version in the Legacy line, this new line from Spiral Studios. And that pretty much got everybody crazy. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, that was my most favorite figure announcement as far as Godzilla last year, 2022. You know, whatever. And I think pre-orders came up around that same time of late August going into September 2022. And as far as I know, this thing was pretty much sold out. Or at least all the good chunk of the pre-orders were already taken because people were really clamoring and really excited for this guy. And here it is a year later, and we're finally getting our hands on it. I was able to get an advanced copy, but I'm sure that whoever did pre-order one will probably get theirs probably before the end of the year. But please be patient. So if you locked in for a pre-order, trust me, you will love this guy when he arrives. And that's the thing about Spiral Studios products, because there's no guarantee that they're going to reissue this thing in any way, shape, or form. So in a way, these statues or these pieces from Spiral Studios are kind of like one and done. So if you miss out on a pre-order, unless you can find one out there in the aftermarket when these things start popping into more people's hands, then you're going to be out of luck. But for those who did pre-order one, trust me when I say this piece is epic and probably would go down as probably arguably the best figure of 2023. And that says a lot because we got some great figures that came out this year. You know, the X Plus Favorite Sculptors line, Mecha Godzilla 74, the X Plus Gigantic Series Monsterverse Kong, the X Plus Favorite Sculptors line, gigantic size, not part of the Gigantic Series, but a gigantic size version of the final form of Destroyer. And you can definitely add this guy onto the list, as well as the Spiral Studios Burning Godzilla 2019 that came out this year. You know what I'm saying? But if this thing does win, it won't surprise me because this was a welcome addition. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been asking for the longest time, when will we get an actual suit accurate gigantic size version of the GMK Godzilla? Spiral Studios came knocking and said, you know what? I got you. That's exactly what they did. So you know what? Let's stop procrastinating. That's it with the backstory. That's it with the packaging and all that good stuff. So let's get to the reason why all of y'all are here. So let's bring up the awesome statue of the Legacy Series gigantic size version of the GMK Godzilla, aka Godzilla 2001, from its epic appearance from GMK. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. All right, folks, here we are, up close and personal in all his glory. Yes, the newest edition from Spiral Studios and the first edition in their awesome Legacy line. Oh my God. With the 2001 Godzilla, also known as the GMK Godzilla, the first gigantic size suit accurate version of the GMK Godzilla. Woo! Beautiful. Amazing. Oh my God. I'm trying not to be jealous right now because this is Sandra's, but technically we all married, so I kind of own half of this thing. No, I'm just joking. Who is taking everything in me not to claim this? It really is. But no, seriously, this is her figure. It's her statue. Again, she's been killing it with this one, the Spiral Burning Godzilla, and the Mothra. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I collected some great things this year too, but I think Sandra has kind of beat me this year. But kudos to her. But right off the bat, look at this thing. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely amazing. Now let's talk about the size right fast before we go into the nuts and bolts of this review here. Size-wise, he's going to be beefy. You know, he's going to command some real estate on your shelf. He stands at least 20 inches tall, probably legit. 20 inches tall from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. Lengthwise, from the tip of his tail to the front of his snout, he's 34 inches long, which is almost 3 feet long, quite frankly. So again, if you get this guy, please make enough room on your shelf or however you're going to display him. Honestly, he really shouldn't go on the shelf because it's too big. Have him out in the open. But whatever you do, make sure that, you know, his tail is not banging up against the wall or anything like that, because again, he's almost 3 feet long. So please take that into consideration before you get him. But again, size wise, again, I love it. Like, give me the bigger the better, in my opinion. But overall size wise, this thing is absolutely amazing. And oh, I'm talking about the tail right fast. Now the tail, there's no hair drying involved. You don't have to heat up Godzilla's main body to put the tail in. The tail was an easy installation. Again, go to the Collect on Monsters YouTube show or YouTube channel and see how Sandra just inserted the tail like it ain't nothing on our unboxing a few nights ago. But that's one thing you don't have to worry about. No hair dry involved, no tools involved, no putting the figure into the freezer while you heat up the tail or blah, 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 blah. All you gotta do is pop it in just like that, and it's easy peasy. And I really do like that. So if that's gonna be the thing moving forward with the Legacy Series Gigantics from Spiral, yeah, sign me up for that. Especially when the Shin Godzilla comes out, because God knows he has like a tail that's like 3 miles long, and we ain't gonna feel like heating that thing up for like an hour just to get it in. So if that tail is like this one, I think we're gonna be good to go. So again, amazing, absolutely amazing. So let's talk about the sculpt. And again, Tanaka has done a phenomenal job. And again, as I mentioned earlier in the intro, it's a shame that he's not talked about when it comes to other great sculptors in our community, like Sakai, like Niwa, like Ibarake. You know what I'm saying? He has done a phenomenal job with what he has done so far. And this Godzilla is really no exception. It's no wonder why Spiral has looked to him to produce the early going of the Legacy series with the GMK Godzilla, with the Ghidorah 91, with Zilla, with the 91 Godzilla, with the 84, because he has done a phenomenal job. And this is so cool. The attention to detail to the skin looks absolutely phenomenal. You know, this was a departure of Godzilla in the Millennium series, coming off, you know, 2000 Megaguirus. They try to make it a more traditional Godzilla with GMK. So the skin here, you know, it has the traditional tree bark skin of Godzilla that we know and love, but it mixes elements of what you would see in a crocodile, quite frankly, which is kind of fitting for this personality of this Godzilla. He has somewhat of a biting personality, to say the least. So I like how they blended the crocodile nature of, at least the skin texture of a crocodile, with the traditional tree bark skin of Godzilla, and it's replicated here in the skin texture, where you see it on his arms, on his legs, on his abdomen. It looks really good. The toes sculpted really well. Again, the sharp toes. Again, kind of like what I talked about earlier when Spiral teased that they were doing this design by just showing us a picture of the dorsal plates, and the dorsal plates are instantly recognizable. You can say the same thing about Godzilla's feet here. When you see this feet, you know exactly where it comes from. Maybe you can make a case for the Heisei with them being so big or whatever, but the sharpness of the toes clearly indicates that this is the GMK Godzilla. And the way he sculpted the toes and the feet look really good. Again, the lower body, his thighs are thick. Just the whole figure is thick, and I like that. The abdomen, the front and the abdomen looks really good. His arms and his claws, really sharp. You know what I'm saying? And I really do enjoy that. Let's say go towards the face. Oh my God, that face, absolutely amazing. The teeth individually sculpted, really sharp. Again, just a ferocious looking Godzilla, an evil, ferocious, brutal look of Godzilla, and he looks absolutely phenomenal with the face here. You know what I'm saying? The way, again, the teeth are sculpted, you know, the inner mouth is sculpted, the nose, the head is sculpted really well. Going towards the eyes, oh my God! And this, you know what? That's something that I was seeing a lot on the Facebook groups, because, you know, people are starting to get theirs overseas, right? More so overseas than over here. And they were showing us some, you know, early pictures of this thing, what it looked like out of the box, right? And sometimes a lot of times when we get these early overseas pictures, sometimes they're not the best in the world when it comes to how these figures are looking in the pictures. Nothing against the people that take the pictures, but a lot of times they don't present them in a good light, quite frankly. And a lot of people were really complaining that the eyes were kind of off, like they shouldn't look like that. But if you look at the film, especially at the point where Godzilla is about to confront Baragon, and there's a close-up of Godzilla's face after he roars and shuts his mouth, you look closely at the eyes, They did the exact same thing here with the statue, you know what I'm saying? So the eyes are absolutely perfect in regards to the suit. And I really do enjoy that. Just evil, you know, with the eyes, no pupils, just the unholy, demonic look of the eyes. And I think that's probably the iconic trademark of this Godzilla, or at least his most outstanding, recognizable trait. His soulless, just white eyes with the black shading going towards the outskirts of the eyes. Just again, just give that very unholy, demonic, just devilish, evil look. You know what I'm saying? So the overall look of the face is absolutely phenomenal. Going towards the dorsal plates, again, the dorsal plates looks absolutely great. Again, looks suit accurate to the suit itself. You know what I'm saying? You know, from the big ones on the main row on his back, in the middle row of his back, as well as the ones on the outer rows, even the smaller ones. You know what I'm saying? Even the ones that go in towards the tip of his tail. Like each individual dorsal plate looks absolutely great. Sculpt wise, from head to tail, dorsal plates, claws on his hands, the toes, looks absolutely phenomenal. The skin texture, absolutely great. Now let's go towards the paint job. And again, the paint job is absolutely great. You know what I'm saying? With the, not really a dark charcoal gray when it comes to Godzilla that we normally know. This is kind of like lighter in color, which is how the suit looked. Quite frankly, especially in the daytime scenes, he had somewhat of a lighter grayish color on the skin here, and it looks absolutely great. Dirty bone white color on the toes as well as the claws, you know, whatever, with some yellowish dark shading of highlights going towards the base of each individual toe as well as his claws. Again, the dorsal plates, you know, more of a whitish color, not a dirty bone white, but more so whitish than it is on the claws, as well as on his hands, as well as his feet here. And that same paint treatment is applied to pretty much all the smaller dorsal plates, from the base of his tail going towards the tip of his tail. Again, the teeth, you know, painted really well, kind of a yellowish. Of course, Godzilla would not have pearly whites. You know what I'm saying? So I like that realism in his teeth, where they're kind of yellowish, quite frankly. The redness of the gums looks really, really good. Again, I already talked about the eyes, where the eyes are sculpted and the way they're colored. Again, it is absolutely great. And again, I really do appreciate this, because again, I know a lot of people tend to rag on a GMK Godzilla because there are certain shots where he does have this look, that dad bod look, quite frankly. I know some fans don't really like that, but somebody who actually has a dad bod in real life, I actually do appreciate that, quite frankly. So again, I'm glad that Tanaka really did this and really gave the suit justice in this collectible right here. And again, it may not be everybody's favorite of the look of the GMK Godzilla, but I think still is an awesome look nonetheless. So again, sculpt-wise, paint job-wise, the sharpness of his teeth, the sharpness of his claws, the sharpness of his toenails, you know, the unholy look of the eyes, absolutely phenomenal, absolutely great. And I'm so glad that Sandra finally has this in her collection, and that way I can look at it every single day. Because I asked her during our stream the other night, because again, she got, you know, the Mothra Larva from the Titans of the Monsterverse from Spiral, as well as the Burning Godzilla, the Deluxe Edition 2019 from Spiral with the wings. And I asked her, you know, does this top the Burning Godzilla? You know what I'm saying? And I hate to do that to her while we were live on the show. I hate to put her on the spot, but I had to know, because I know she's a huge fan of the GMK Godzilla. But she so loved the Burning Godzilla when she got it a few months ago. And I know sometimes when you get a new figure, sometimes you're in that early honeymoon phase, quite frankly. But she said point blank that no disrespect to the Burning Godzilla, and she does love it, and it's a show still in peace. When you walk into the room, she has to put this at #1 because she so loves this designer Godzilla, and she loves the movie. Again, anything GMK Godzilla, she loves. So it's, you know, it's fitting that she would put this at top of her list of not only her favorite Spiral collectibles, but I think this is her #1 collectible that she has in her collection. So for her to get it, you know, just 2 days ago, and it is shot to the top of her favorites, I think speaks a lot to how well they have made this figure. So again, if you're got one on pre-order and you're waiting to get one, trust me, again, please be patient. I'm sure they're on their way, but please be patient. And once he arrives on your doorstep, you will get, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, collectibles that has been released all year in 2023. And as far as we know, we could be looking at the figure of the year. You know what I'm saying? He got some stiff competition with the favorite Sculptors Line Destroyer, as well as the Spiral Burning Godzilla. But if this thing does win, it wouldn't surprise me, because this thing is all that and then some. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, folks, let's do some size comparisons. And yes, we're at the point where I gotta do some size comparisons. You know what I'm saying? I know I kind of went overboard in the last video of the Roto Kaiju Mechanicon with the size comparisons. I'm sorry, I was having too much fun. I couldn't help myself then, and I can't help myself now. So I have 3 different size comparisons planned for this version of Godzilla. And I'm going to bring forth 3 different gigantic size pieces I have in my collection and see how they look up against this guy right here. Now, we all know that the movie of GMK was directed by the awesome filmmaker known as Shusuke Kaneko, but we also know he's the same awesome filmmaker that directed the Heisei Gamera films in the 90s. Gamera, Guardian of the Universe, Gamera 2, The Attack of Legion, and Gamera 3, The Revenge of Iris. And we have always wanted to see Godzilla fight Gamera in some way, shape, or form. We never got that in a live-action movie, but as fans, we've always wanted to see that. So let's see how certain gigantic size collectible I have of Gamera in my collection in the Prime 1 Gamera 1999. Let's see how he fares, or he stacks up against this gigantic size statue of the GMK Godzilla from Spiral Studios and the Legacy line. Godzilla versus Gamera, both gigantic size statues going head to head in this first size comparison. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Oh, this is so amazing. Oh, this is so great. Oh my God. Let's just address the big white elephant in the room, or the pink elephant in the room. This is an amazing shot. And you know what? This is absolutely the first time I put these two together. Because again, we just got the figure a couple days ago, and we haven't had much time to spend with the figure of the GMK Godzilla from Spiral. But this is absolutely the first time I have put these two together. And you know what? This is absolutely great. The Spiral Studios GMK Godzilla, or Godzilla 2001, going up against the gigantic size statue from Prime 1 of Gamera 1999. Oh, this is so great. This is so amazing. As you can see here, they pretty much are the same height, same size height-wise. But Godzilla got Gamera in terms of his girth. He got more beef to him. He's thicker than Gamera in some respects. Not too much thicker, but he is bigger girth-wise than Gamera. But still, this is a great size comparison. And this shot signifies something that a lot of us fans have wanted to see for a long time. Godzilla versus Gamera, or Gamera versus Godzilla. With me being a huge fan of both, it's kind of like the whole Godzilla versus Kong thing, quite frankly. I really don't want to see one beat the other one, but I will probably go for the underdog, you know, whatever. So in this case, Gamera might be the underdog going up against this evil version of Godzilla. But if you would ask me who will win between these two, I would probably give the edge to Godzilla. I would think Godzilla will be the one to come out victorious, but it wouldn't be a cakewalk. Like, trust me, he wouldn't run through Gamera like he ran through King Ghidorah, Baragon, and Mothra in GMK. He would have to fight for a little bit more with Gamera here, but I think in the end, Godzilla will be victorious. Why don't you let me know in the comment section who you think will win between these two? Would it be Godzilla 2001 or Gamera 1999? But again, this shot also signifies like these two monsters come from films, from the best made monster films of all time, courtesy of Shusuke Kaneko. So why don't you let me know in the comment section again, what's the better movie, GMK or Gamera 3? And if you choose either one, you're not wrong. But this is a great size comparison between these two gigantic size monstrosities. Godzilla versus Gamera. Oh, this is so awesome. So that's it with the first size comparison with the Prime 1 Gamera. So now let's bring forth another gigantic size piece I have in my collection to go up against this Godzilla from Spiral. So let's bring forth the X Plus Gigantic Series 1989 Godzilla, the Bio Goji from its appearance from Godzilla vs. Biollante. So let's see how that powerful version of Godzilla stacks up against this powerful version of Godzilla from Spiral and GMK in the second size comparison. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Okay, folks, here we are with the second size comparison, or gigantic size comparison, I should say, going up against the Spiral Studios Legacy Series GMK Godzilla 2001. I have the X Plus Gigantic Series Standard Edition of the 1989 Godzilla. Yes, the Bio Goji from Godzilla vs. Biollante up against the GMK Goji from GMK. And as you can see here, they look well together. Now, they have nothing to do with each other because, again, they're both from different movies, from different Godzilla film eras. But I want to put this Godzilla from X Plus up against the Spiral here to show you how big just the GMK is, quite frankly. Because, again, the 89 X Plus Gigantic Series figure is actually the tallest gigantic series figure that they have ever done. Yes, he is taller than Mecha Godzilla. He is taller than Shin Godzilla. He is taller than the legendary Godzilla. Yes, he is the tallest figure in the gigantic series that X Plus has ever done. He's probably the tallest figure that X Plus has ever done, period. So I want to show you how he looks up against the GMK Godzilla here. And again, height-wise, kind of like Gamera from the previous size comparison. GMK, they're pretty much at the same height, quite frankly. But again, like Gamera, the GMK Godzilla has more girth in his body than the 89 right here, quite frankly. But still, again, even though they have nothing to do with each other, again, I know some people that do already have the X Plus Gigantic 89 in their collections, and they already got the Spiral on pre-order. So this may be an option that you want to put together on your shelf to show two different powerful versions of Godzilla, gigantic sized versions of Godzilla, if you will, coming together. And why don't you let me know, who do you think will win in this fantasy battle between the 89 Bio Goji and the 2001 GMK Goji? Either way, it will be a great fight, especially if the 89 was a 91, because I do believe that the 89 gigantic series figure from X Plus had shades of the 91 in it, because that's basically what the 91 suit was. It was a variation of the 89. To me, you kind of see more so shades of the 91 in this figure right here. So why don't you let me know who will win between those two, the 91 or the GMK? That one is not so cut and dry with me like it was with Gamera. Like I said, I think the GMK Godzilla would destroy Gamera. It wouldn't be a cakewalk, but I think Godzilla will win that one. But if the GMK Godzilla went up against the 91 Godzilla, I don't know about that one. Gojira Air 51, if you're out there, let them know. The 91 won't be a cakewalk either, but it will still be an interesting fight between these two powerful Godzillas. So that's it with the second size comparison. Again, this looked great. This is a great shot between these two different powerful, destructive looking versions of Godzilla. So this is, again, another option that you could put on your shelf. All right, so let's go with the final size comparison. You know what? I'm going to bring forth a figure that actually comes from the same company as the GMK Godzilla from Spiral Studios. And you know what? He didn't fight this version of this monster in GMK, but it will still be an interesting fight to see nonetheless. So let me bring in my gigantic size statue of the Monsterverse 2019 Ghidorah, and let's see how he fares up against the Spiral Studios Legacy Series gigantic size version of the GMK Godzilla in this last size comparison. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. It's going to take me a minute because Ghidorah is big, but just bear with me, we'll get there. All right, let's do this. Okay, folks, here we are with the last size comparison. Oh, this is so great. This is so awesome. Now, let me make a little announcement here. Now, I know I said before we came into the size comparison that I was going to bring forth Ghidorah from the Ultimate Master line, courtesy of Spiral, to go up against Godzilla here from the Legacy line. And as you can see here, I've done that. You know, you got the awesome Ultimate Master line standard edition of the Monsterverse 2019 King Ghidorah, also known as Monster Zero. But I also want to bring up Sandra's other figure that she got from Spiral Studios with the defensive version of the Mothra Larva from the Titans of the Monsterverse line. And I want to see how that figure look up against Ghidorah and Godzilla here. And as you can see here, this shot right here represents the three big major lines from Spiral Studios outside of the Spiral toy stuff, with the Legacy series represented with Godzilla, the Titans of the Monsterverse represented by Mothra, and of course the Ultimate Master line represented by the one and only King Ghidorah. And as you can see here, this is technically GMK. Basically, it is GMK, even though Mothra and the Ghidorah are not the same versions of Mothra and Ghidorah that fought the 2001 Godzilla in GMK. But it's still this is still a great substitute, quite frankly. You know what I'm saying? This is a great shot to have to kind of recreate GMK, but with different monsters. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? That was a common complaint when it came to GMK anyway. Now, as much as a lot of people love that movie, they have it as their favorite or is in their top 5 or top 10. GMK is regarded as one of the best Godzilla movies of all time, probably the best of the Millennium series. But there's a common complaint that a lot of fans seem to have when it comes to GMK, and I kind of agree with them on that, is that a lot of fans do not like the fact that Ghidorah, not only do they do not like the design of Ghidorah, but they don't like the fact that Ghidorah was scaled down and made him look weaker in comparison to Godzilla. And I kind of agree with that, because I am a huge fan of King Ghidorah. He's my favorite villain in the Godzilla universe. So I would have loved that they would have presented a more powerful Ghidorah to fight Godzilla. like the one that was on the original artwork poster, you know what I'm saying? That was basically the Heisei Ghidorah, quite frankly. And that's what we thought we were going to get. We thought that we were going to get a bigger, more powerful sized version of not only Ghidorah, but Mothra to fight Godzilla in GMK. And unfortunately, that was not the case. But can you imagine if they replaced the GMK Ghidorah with the Monsterverse Ghidorah to fight Godzilla from GMK? Because this Ghidorah is not only bigger, he is more powerful, and he towers over the GMK Godzilla. Can you imagine if they did that and not only substituted Ghidorah, but also gave us this monster from the Monsterverse to fight Godzilla? I will probably venture to say that maybe Godzilla still will win, but it wouldn't be a cakewalk like it was in GMK. But again, this is a nice size comparison, at least a nice comparison in general. And as you can see here, you get all three of the big major lines from Spiral Studios represented in this one shot. And as you can see with Godzilla, Mothra, and Ghidorah, Spiral Studios have put so much detail and craftsmanship and just amazing epic work into all their pieces. And these pieces are representative of that. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me really excited to know, or at least learn, what they may have coming down the pipeline in the future. Because if this is a testament of what they can offer, I think we're in for a good ride when it comes to Spiral Studios. You know what I'm saying? So that's it with all the size comparisons I want to put with this video. You know what I'm saying? Again, this figure of the GMK Godzilla, courtesy of Spiral and the Legacy line, is absolutely amazing. He is epic. He is amazing. And I'm glad that he's finally here. Yes, yes, yes. So let's go to the final commentary portion of the video. My final thoughts of the Spiral Studios Legacy Series Godzilla 2001 statue from his epic appearance from GMK. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Okay, folks, I'm back with my final thoughts of the Spiral Studios gigantic size statue of the Legacy Series GMK Godzilla, also known as Godzilla 2001, from his epic appearance from GMK. 10 out of 10! This thing is great, sculpt-wise, paint job-wise, from top to bottom, teeth, eyes, claws in his hands, the sharp toes, the texture on his skin, the dorsal plates, the tail. Again, the sheer size, the sheer presence of this thing is absolutely amazing. Again, made some real estate for him because he's going to need it. Again, 20 inches tall, almost 3 feet long from the tip of his tail to the tip of his snout. Again, he's going to need some real estate, but he is so well worth it. Again, the first ever gigantic size suit accurate version of the GMK Godzilla. And you know what? Because between myself and Sandra, we have a few GMK Godzilla collectibles in our collection. I would say like maybe 9 or 10 of them or whatever. And when you put this thing up against various other GMK collectibles, sculpted by various sculptors, mind you, whether it's the T's Facto model kit or whether it's the Monster Maker 28 sculpted favorite sculptors line GMK Godzilla, or whether it's the Yuji Sakai GMK Godzilla, you know what I'm saying? Just epic pieces involving GMK. But still, why don't you let me know? Because in this shot, as you can see, you know, we have various versions of GMK, again, sculpted by great, awesome Japanese sculptors. Why don't you let me know in the comment section which one you think is the best sculpted? But some will argue that maybe this is the best one that is sculpted, and ironically, it's the biggest one. So again, the attention to detail that Tanaka put into the sculpt, as well as the paint job, make this a one-of-a-kind piece, and in my opinion, one of the standout releases of 2023. You know, he got some stiff competition, like I said, with the X Plus Favorite Sculptors line Destroyer, even stiff competition from products from his own company, Spiral Studios, with the gigantic size Burning Godzilla 2019 statue or the Martha Larva. But if this thing does end up winning Figure of the Year, it would not surprise me, because this thing is so well worth it. And again, this makes me so excited that, you know, again, that the idea of the Legacy series really intrigues me, and what they have done so far, what they announced so far, makes this series stand out because they're doing something different. Here we have the GMK Godzilla, and it's a suit accurate version, and again, we have not seen that before from any collectible company or whatever. And you know, again, they're doing a gigantic size version of Zilla, they're doing a King Ghidorah 91, they're doing a Godzilla 91, they're doing Shin Godzilla, they're doing an 84. Now, with the exception of Shin Godzilla, those designs have not been done in a gigantic size scale from any company. So I think that's the key of the Legacy series, to do things that are different, to give us something that we have not seen before. And I think that's the key to the success of this awesome line. So with that being said, again, we got the GMK Godzilla, the suit accurate version of the GMK Godzilla, which is awesome. But if you were to ask me, I would pick 3 distinct designs that I would love to see in the Legacy series. Why don't you pop down in the comment section, let me know yours as well. But personally, what I would like to see coming from the Legacy series in the future, and this may be a controversial pick, and I have not been too kind in this film, but I have to admit the design of Godzilla from this film is really, really cool. And I'm talking about the 2004 Godzilla. Yes, the final Goji. Yes, you didn't hear anything wrong. I did say that. I would like to see a gigantic size suit accurate version of the final Goji from Final Wars coming from the Legacy line, excuse me. Because even though, again, just because the film may be a dumpster fire doesn't mean that, again, we should deny ourselves from incredible designs of collectibles or monsters from that particular film. And in terms of that film, I think the design of Godzilla was cool. In my opinion, it's a hybrid of different Godzillas. There's elements of the Showa Godzilla and the Heisei Godzilla, as well as the Millennium Godzilla, all compacted into one. So I would love to see the final Goji be a gigantic sized piece coming from the Legacy line. All right, you know what? Let's stay with the Millennium. You know what I'm saying? Let's start off, we just finished talking about the final design of Godzilla from the Millennium series. How about let's get a gigantic size version of the first one that we saw in the Millennium series, of course, with Godzilla 2000 or the 1999 Godzilla. Oh my God, a gigantic size version of that Godzilla. Oh my God, say what you will about the films. 2000 Mechagodzilla, especially more so Mechagodzilla, because I know Mechagodzilla is not too well liked by a lot of people. But the design of Godzilla from both those films is absolutely amazing. The Amiri Goji, in my opinion, is one of the best Godzilla designs. It is so distinct, it is so unique, and in my opinion, that would fit the premise behind the Legacy series, which in my opinion, again, they should focus on doing things differently. They should focus on giving us something different that we've not seen before. And outside of the KOC 2099, we never had a gigantic size version of the 2000 Godzilla, aside for the X Plus Gigantic Series one, but that was actually of the maquette. It wasn't actually the suit accurate one. That's what I would like to see, a suit accurate gigantic size version of the 99/2000 Godzilla. And finally, let's go towards the Showa, because again, so far they have announced, again, they're going to do a 91 Godzilla and an 84 Godzilla from the Heisei period. Now we have the GMK Godzilla from the Millennium period. But what about the Showa period? And yes, I am so excited to see what would be the first Showa Godzilla from Spiral Studios, courtesy of the Legacy series. And honestly, I would pick probably not the one you think I probably would pick, quite frankly. And as honestly, if it were up to me, I would skip from these designs. I would skip the 54, I would skip the 62, and yes, I would skip the 64. And hear me out before you start booing me. Hear me out. The reason why I would skip those, because we have seen those in a gigantic size scale before. Pretty much X Plus has done that. They have done a gigantic size 54, they've done a 62, they have done a 64. But we have seen those designs done to death, because those designs are quite arguably the most popular Godzilla designs from the Showa period. But what I would like to see something different, again, something unorthodox, something that will make Spiral Studios and the Legacy line stand out a rest from the pack. And honestly, I would like to see the Shoshingeki Godzilla suit or the 1968 Godzilla suit from Destroy All Monsters. Yes, we saw that design in 4 films, Godzilla's Revenge, Smog Monster, and Gigan. And he pretty much looked the same throughout all 4 films, even though there are minor differences, sure. But by and large, it's pretty much the same suit design-wise. And that design is really popular amongst Godzilla fans, you know what I'm saying? So I would like to see a gigantic-sized version of the Shoshingeki 68 Godzilla suit come from the Legacy line, quite frankly. So again, why don't you let me know in the comment section what would be your picks, but these will be mine. Final Wars Goji, the 2000 Goji, as well as the 68 Goji. But in the meantime, considering what we know that is coming from Spiral Studios, courtesy of the Legacy line, like I said, Zilla, 91 Ghidorah, 91 Godzilla, 84 Godzilla, Shin Godzilla, again, we have so much to look forward to, but I'm intrigued to see what will be the next one coming behind those awesome releases, courtesy of Spiral Studios. But whatever it is in the Legacy line, but whatever it is, I'm on board. I'm fully invested in this line. And again, I feel the same way about this line as I felt about the Gigantic series 10 years ago. It is amazing. And I'm so looking forward to what will be the next project. But in the meantime, again, if you locked in for a pre-order for this guy, you will not be disappointed, in my opinion. An epic piece, a standout release of the year 2023. And you might be looking at, quite arguably, the overall figure of the year. Yes, yes, yes. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if it did win, because it is so awesome. Trust me when I say that. So that pretty much concludes my review of the Spiral Studios gigantic size statue of the Legacy series Tanaka Kenichi Modern Collection of the GMK Godzilla, also known as Godzilla 2001. From his badass performance from 2001's epic Godzilla film, Godzilla Mothra, King Ghidorah, giant monsters all attack. If you have any questions, comment down in the comment section. Hit me on Facebook via Let's Play Chambers. We definitely would go from there. Yes, once again, 10 out of 10. It is perfect. Scope wise, perfect. Paint job, perfect. Sheer presence, perfect. Size wise, it is perfect. Oh my God. Again, if you're locked in for a pre-order, you would trust me when I say this. You will love it. Or even if you have the Spiral Studios Brother Godzilla 2019, or whatever, and you think that is the best release from Spiral Studios this year, he's gonna have some stiff competition with this one. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the year, when we all tally up what is overall the figure of the year, I can guarantee you that this guy would definitely be in the conversation, because it is so awesome. Once again, thank you to AJ Russo, thank you to Ash Siri, and of course my beautiful wife Sandra. This is for you, babe. This is all for you. Thank you all so much for making this video happen. I really do appreciate it. Now, let's talk about the next video. Now, if you saw my most recent video of the Roto Kaiju Deluxe Edition vinyl model kit of the awesome Mechanic Kong, I teased at the very end of that video that a future video will be about one of two gigantic sized unique pieces that I was able to acquire for myself involving a villain from 1975 or a villain from 2001, but I did not let y'all know what it was just to keep y'all guessing. Here we are talking about the 2001 villain that I was alluding to. So now in the next video, we will talk about the 1975 villain. So yes, in the next video, we will talk about the awesome gigantic size 3D printed statue of the awesome super dinosaur controlled by the evil Dr. Mifune in 1975's Terror Mecha Godzilla, with the awesome Titanosaurus that was built and painted by the awesome Marcellus Winters. Yes, that'll be the next video on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews, and I can't wait to get that out for y'all. So please stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, so again, thank you to Ash, thank you to AJ, and thank you to Sandra for making this video happen. I really do appreciate it. So ladies and gentlemen, I finally give to you the awesome gigantic size epic statue courtesy of Spiral Studios from their Legacy line, and the awesome evil GMK Godzilla from his epic appearance from Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, giant monsters all out attack. Yes. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all again on this figure move review. All right, y'all take it easy.